Most people don't realize that 32.5 million people are displaced every single year just from natural disasters. Current solutions for people post-disaster, it's really limited. On average, it takes about 90 days for FEMA trailers to arrive on site after a disaster. So there's a huge housing gap. The most powerful country in the world essentially took 20,000 people and put them across the floor of a sports arena in Houston in the Astrodome on army cots. Literally 3 days after Katrina, I was trying to figure out how you could actually make a sheltering system that would actually be practical. I had no idea how to do that, and one morning I was literally drinking coffee from this little coffee cup, and it just dawned on me. It's like if you turn the coffee cup upside down, you essentially have a roof, insulated walls, and then a nice rigid floor that goes under it. And this is just two parts that all nest together in these big stacks that you can move around and store really easily, and they don't require any time to set up. They just literally snap together. So that's kind of where the whole idea of the EXO originally came from. The EXOs are essentially portable housing. FEMA trailers currently cost about $18,000 to $20,000 each. The EXOs will retail for about $5,000 each. So it's a fraction of the cost, plus they're reusable. These units actually ship and store with all the furniture essentially in place. So once they arrive on site, you literally latch the top shell onto the floor plate and the bunks fold out of the walls and they're ready to go. These things can be set up in under 2 minutes without any tools or needs for heavy machinery to move them around because they're light enough to be moved by hand. One of the biggest hurdles they had after Katrina, particularly in the Astrodome, they didn't know where anybody was. So they were literally people walking around with cardboard signs with their family members' names scrawled on them. When the EXOs are actually deployed, they can be deployed in a variety of configurations. The one that we actually prefer is what we call a pod. A pod is 4 to 8 EXOs put kind of like circling the wagons in a semicircle. You can actually spill out into this common area. That allows us to actually keep extended families together where you're not displacing and just throwing these people out and then trying to track folks down. I had no intent of making this into a business. I was just literally trying to solve a problem that I felt needed to be solved. And I went to several senators, chiefs of staffs, and just trying to give it away. Well, then I went to the private sector with it. Literally, I had one group tell me that they didn't want their logo stamped across the ghettos of Haiti, which infuriated me, because here I was like, I'm just trying to help people with this. So then I decided I would just do it myself. I've been working on it for 8.5 years now, since Katrina. And production is the next milestone for us. And once we're in production, the world's hopefully our oyster at that point. Design has this tremendous possibility and tremendous potential to actually help people. And I think companies that are focused on using design to actually help humanity out in a positive way can be extremely powerful forces for good.